Hi, I'm Nikki and I'm here with Brendan, my husband, from Leadership Lowdown. You may have been watching Brendan over the past few weeks discussing intent-based leadership. So what we thought we'd do is, over the next few sessions, take a deeper look into that very subject. So Brendan, can you tell us a bit about your business background for people that are watching that don't really know you?
Yes, I've been in business for over 32 years in the financial services sector and investment areas, property development, and also with charity organisation and charity companies. So I've been in business for a very long time.
A long time.
Yeah.
So another thing we wanted to ask is, see your leadership. What's your experience in your own business with leadership?
In my own business and in my own organisations, I've always been very supportive of everyone who worked for the companies. I've always valued them. I've always encouraged everyone to work together. Everyone would have an input. People get a chance to say things, give their ideas, and over the years in my business, that's the way I've worked. I've always wanted to have that type of business where everyone would feel valued and everyone can contribute. And it's worked for me over the years, and the companies I've had over the years have been successful because we work together as a team.
Good.
Yeah.
So what about leadership around you? What have you experienced?
Yeah, well, I've seen other styles of leadership over the years, companies I've been involved with and companies I've worked with, and it's always been very authoritative type leadership. There's always maybe one or two guys making the decisions. They're one or two people in control of the situation. They know what's going on. They're the only ones that know what's going on. Their staff or the other people within the company don't get a chance to have a say. Their voices aren't heard. They're not really given a chance to give ideas to make the company better. And so that's the type of leadership, other types of leadership I've seen over the years. And that's where I get passionate, because I believe if these companies and these organisations would allow their staff to have an input and to have a say and share ideas about their company, then I believe that those companies would go higher, profits would increase, people would be a lot happier coming to work because they would feel valued because they're input into their business, into their company, and it creates a much healthier environment in the workplace and in business organisations.
So how did you come across intent-based leadership?
Yeah, I came across intent-based leadership. I was at a leadership meeting one evening, and I know you'll know about this because I came back and the meeting didn't go too well, and it wasn't one of my companies, it was another company that I was attending the leadership course. And I remember you saying to me that everything rises and falls on leadership, and when you said that struck a chord with me. But an hour later I received a video, a social media video from this guy called Captain David Marquis. It was about 10, maybe 20-minute video on intent-based leadership. And when I seen that video and listened to what this guy was saying, together with what you'd said on everything rises and falls on leadership, then I knew at that moment something happened, a light came on, and I knew at that time that this is the type of leadership that I wanted to get involved in with David Marquis.
So tell us a bit about then the story about David Marquis.
The story about, yeah. Well, the story is David Marquis, he's a retired captain of a nuclear submarine. He's also the author of the best-selling book Turn the Ship Around. It's the best-selling book just now, I think, on Amazon. And what happened was, basically he was trained for a particular submarine, and at the last moment the orders changed, and he was asked to take charge of another submarine called the US Santa Fe in the US Navy. Now when he went on board that submarine, he only had a few weeks to learn this new submarine, and he gave an incorrect order on that submarine. And he gave the order of 2/3 ahead, and that particular ship didn't have 2/3 ahead. And so when he gave the order to the crew member, 2/3 ahead, and then nothing happened. and he called the crew member over and said, "Well, what's happening? How come there's nothing happening on the ship?" And the crew member said, "Captain, there's no 2/3 speed on this particular submarine." So he then said, "Well, why did you give the order anyway when you knew it was wrong?" And the crew member said, "Because you told me to." Now, when that happened, something happened to David Markey at that point, and he decided not to give another order again on that submarine. And it was from this moment on that he implemented intent-based leadership, and more of a leader style structure. And the long and short of the story is, the US Santa Fe, which is the nuclear submarine that he was charge of, had the worst rating in the US Navy as a nuclear submarine. Now, within a year, or just after a year after he had implemented intent-based leadership, that same submarine received the best rating ever from the US Navy, which is amazing. You know, not the best rating that year or 5 year or 10 year, the best rating ever within the US Navy. Now, when I watch this video and I see that type of leadership, that's the type of leadership I want to get involved in. I want to teach, I want to implement, and want to pass on to other companies and organisations. So that's the story behind it all, and I'm getting a chance to meet up with Captain David Markey in a couple of weeks' time in Copenhagen. He's doing a leadership seminar, so we're going to meet up together. So yeah, great story, and fantastic for me.
Fantastic, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks for watching the Intent-Based Leadership interview with Brendan. If you tune in next week, we'll dig a bit deeper and go through a bit more of intent-based leadership. If you get any questions, comment below, and hopefully see you next week.